But if it's gonna go on anybody, I think it's on her.
I mean, the hair is cute, like the style and everything, but her color just reminds me of mine.
Yeah, it's a little too yellow.
And that don't necessarily outfit.
Hey, can y'all hear?
Testing. Oh, let me go to it.
Can y'all hear what's happening?
That's smart. Maybe you can see what it says.
Check. That's what somebody said?
Yeah, that's what I see.
Oh, they too here.
Somebody.
I heard.
Hey.
Check. What up? Hi. Can y'all hear? No sound. What's
Sounds
up?
good.
Hey. Is this microphone or just the speaker on the computer?
Pete Thomas says, I'm sleepy, I'm old, and what?
Pete Thomas, what up?
Hurry up. Hey y'all, we just getting this sound together.
Can y'all? I wonder, is it microphone or is it straight computer?
It's not the microphone.
It's not mics.
Oh, you got it plugged all the way in?
I think so, but I got it plugged into the I got it plugged into the headphone part. There's no speaker inlet on your. Damn, but the sound is crisp. The sound is crispy, but
The video?
video icy.
Yeah.
What up? What's happening?
Dang, that's weird. The Look how aesthetically pleasing our cups look on that table. Even the one you got kind of match.
Man, I think I might just do it like this. I'm gonna just fuck it. Just gonna do it like this.
Just scoot in a little.
Scoot in so fans can do some muff time.
Oh my God.
Rolling.
Seen that.
Look, hey, what up?
Wait. You should bring the.
What, the lights?
Yeah, bring them closer. Sorry, I'm perfectionist.
Still on the
You
mic.
should bring the show.
Sorry. That's not on.
I know, I'm plugging it up. Shut up there.
You have to roll
Okay, in a rolling
I ain't-
You're talking way too much.
A lesser athlete would have failed. Y'all ain't seen me fall one time.
Way too much junk. You still haven't made it back to your seat. Say
I would never fall. I guarantee you. You're not gonna see me roll up. You can sit up
Skating
there.
on thin ice right now.
You're not gonna see me roll. I guarantee you that.
Third time's the charm.
I guarantee you. I'm too much of an athlete. I'm way too agile.
Alright. Hi guys. Fanny's serving face today.
Fanny is on an all box run today.
You finna leave Fanny alone.
Charlie keeps looking at me crotch.
Ew.
All right, what up?
What's up, y'all?
Welcome to an episode of In All Fairness. I'm your host, Charlie Newhart. We got, 7 people in the live? Oh,
Hey, shout out to y'all. You picked the perfect night and the
Perfect
perfect
night.
place.
We
to spend your
still-
time.
I still call these like pilot episodes because we working out the sound, we working out the video, we working out the pieces, blah, blah, blah. I'm on some hood nigga stuff right now. So we still trying to work it out. So thanks for tuning in. Tuesday was my birthday. Shout out to me. I'm 43
Happy
years young.
birthday.
So yeah, let's just get right into it. We had a real interesting conversation at the table the other day. We talked about how I've been in relationships and friendships where people have put me on a pedestal. You know what I'm saying? Put me up on this pedestal, and then when I let them down, they was crushed, and they would act out because I let them down. And it's like, look, you never should have put me up on that pedestal to begin with. I'm a human. I'm fallible. I make mistakes. And, I got put up on a pedestal, and then when I let people down, they'd act out like, I thought you was this, I thought you was that. Only person that's perfect is God, man.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only person that's perfect is God. I'll never be perfect. I have all kind of imperfections. And, I mean, I can try to do the right thing. I'm working on it. But I think one of the worst things people do is they get cool with somebody. Like when you get close to somebody who has accomplished a few things, you start to see the chinks in their armor. When you see the chinks in their armor, you be like, oh, you do, oh, and then you create this assessment in your brain based on the chinks that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I'm kind of different. When I'm dealing with people, I look at it like grocery shopping. When I go into the grocery store, I have a list. There's certain things I want off the list. I get those things and I leave. I don't see nothing else in the store. That's kind of how I deal with people. Like when I deal with people, I kind of put them in a category and I deal with them like grocery shopping. I want this, and this from this person. We're going to have an even exchange. Everything else like that ain't on the list. That's a chink in their armor, but it doesn't make me devalue who that person is when I find out that they have some type of flaw, a habit, whatever the case may be. It doesn't make me look at them differently. Like, they accomplished these things. That doesn't take away from their greatness. But I expect people to have flaws. I expect people to have habits and issues or demons in their claw. I just expect it. So it doesn't make me treat people differently. You know what I'm saying? And I just think I've attracted some people who didn't know that, I had some habits and some things that I was working on. Then when they found out, and it's like, come on, man, I'm still working on me. I'm trying to change, but I know I'm imperfect. Have y'all ever experienced somebody get close to you, discovering you had a chink in your armor, and then just turning up on you or treating you different when they found out, or, stop valuing your gift based on something they found out about you? Y'all ever had that experience?
Absolutely. I feel like, especially when, you're a public figure, you know what I mean? So it's just like a lot of the things that you do are kind of public. Like a lot of the mistakes you've made kind of have been public. Like all of that stuff is like, and when it's public, people feel like they can judge or they can say something about it. But then on top of that, it's just like people know you have a purpose on your life and they expect for you to always be fulfilling that purpose and never making mistakes. Like a part of my purpose is to make mistakes.
Right.
Like if that makes me who I am. And I feel like it's unfair to put those types of expectations on people. You know what I mean? And I've definitely felt it before. Like, on one hand, I feel like I've motivated people, inspired people, but then if I say a cuss word or they see me cussing, or even like sometimes I'll be posting memes and people be like, why would you post something like that? Or why would you say that? And it's just like, because I'm a human being just like you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I still have my own opinions. I still have my own feelings, and you don't have to like it, but it just is what it is. And like I spent so many years tiptoeing around how I really felt and who I really was because I just didn't want people to judge me like that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, I feel like I'm finally reaching a point in my life where I just don't care anymore. Like, I don't care. I be getting on my live. I be saying whatever I want to say, because the thing about it is that if you don't want to hear it, then you don't have to be on my live. Like, you don't have to listen.
That's what I don't understand about people who have the time to leave negative comments. You a whole ass nigga. If you got time to type in, you a bitch. Just get off the site. Just, you know what I'm saying? Unplug. Whenever I see something that I don't like and I don't agree with, I just log off. I don't take the time to say, oh, let me let them know how I feel. And I'm one of 10,000 comments. Who's reading that? I just don't. You don't like it, just tune off. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just, I don't know. That was just a little rant. I had to just go on.
No, I feel you.
No, but I agree because if you are consistently out here judging people, expressing your opinion when it's unsolicited, unasked for, you always, well, I don't know if you want to call it constructive, but like criticizing somebody, there's something wrong with you. And that's a telltale that like you are dealing with inner insecurities and you must not like yourself because it's hard for you to like somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just, and when people do that, it's like if you knew what you were showing about yourself, you would stop.
Yeah, you look stupid.
Yeah, you come
You
on,
look
man.
silly.
You
Don't
look silly, man. Just guard yourself. And that's kind of where we at right now. What we kind of wanted to step into today. What it takes to really effectively guard yourself in reference to boundaries. Because one of my favorite proverbs is, it talks about the countenance of an angry man. If you speak negatively, and I'm paraphrasing, but if you're the kind of person that always speaking negatively all the time, your countenance is your countenance is angry. So basically, when you always speaking about negatively about circumstances and people, you basically invite into your life an angry countenance. And it's like, put up a boundary. You speaking negatively about everybody you're around. One of my huge signs is if somebody's around me and they always talking crap about somebody else, how I know you're not doing that when I'm not around? About me.
Right.
You attract an angry countenance when you're always complaining and talking about other people. It's like you attract that into your life, is what Proverbs says. So that's a boundary that I have. If we got to speak about boundaries, I try to talk about people as if they were there. Or if I'm saying something, I try to say, I'll say something that I know I've already said to that person.
Yeah, that's respect.
You know what I mean? Like, what if that person was here right now? I'm going to say that. And I think that's a great way to guard yourself in reference to boundaries. It's like, okay, I don't want to attract an angry countenance. I don't want to complain all the time. So I'm going to speak about this person as if they were present. That's a huge piece about character integrity because I didn't always have that. I used to dog niggas behind their back like, that whole ass nigga, he missing a side tooth. You can't trust niggas that don't have side teeth. You know what I'm saying? I would die. And I remember I got called out on it one time. I don't know who it was, but they basically said the same thing. Like, dog, would you say that if that person was here? And I was like, bro, probably not. And it made me have a real self-check. Like, man, dog, I don't know. So that's just one of the boundaries that I have. I try to, and I'm really big on how the oil is affected between me and another person. How basically when I say oil, the relationship and the friendship. If I'm always dogging Lala, if I'm always dogging you behind your back, when I get around you, it's gonna be a weird vibe.
Right.
You ever get around somebody that's just a really weird, like the vibe?
You feel it.
9 times out of 10, they've been dogging you behind your back or they have a negative thought about you. And that's what, like, when people say about praying against somebody, literally, they're not getting on their knees praying like, oh, I hope you fail. But they have negative thoughts towards you. And those are considered prayers for you to fail. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a couple of my boundaries. Try not to talk about people behind their back. And I'm real cognizant on people who always dog me. That's one of my boundaries. What are some of the boundaries that y'all have in your life? And can you tell if a person doesn't have those boundaries?
I think one of the ways that you can tell is, like you said, they always talking about somebody or always gossiping about somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I recently had an experience with a friend that always gossiped about everybody else and what everybody else had going on. And it just got to the point where it was just like, if you talking about everybody else, I know you talking about me.
Yeah.
And so I tried to guard some of the things that I had told her, but I think at that point we had, gotten close in our friendship where she just knew certain things about me. And I feel like she used that against me to judge me. And I backed out of the friendship as a result of that. Because I don't want nobody judging me. Because the thing is, it's like, I'm perfect. Like, if I smoke some weed, if I have sex with my boyfriend or something like that, or I'm backsliding or whatever, like, that's not your business for you to judge me or to talk about it to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a big person on loyalty. Like, if I find out that the way you act around me is the same way that you act when I'm not there, then we good. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as I find out that it's something else, I instantly fall back on you all the way, or I cut you off.
Let me tell you something I love about my cuz Lala. She is very, she has discernment, very intuitive. She's an empath, but she don't fake it. She's not plastic. If she don't deal with you, she don't deal with you.
Period.
Number one. Number two, she takes her time to figure out if she's gonna deal with you. Everybody else in the room could be like, oh, that's Johnny. Oh, she gonna be like,
But see, I can do that with just regular people. But one of the, and we recently talked about this, it's like, I don't know why, but I cannot do it when it comes to a nigga. Like, it's just weird to me. It's like, I got all this discernment, and then as soon as I start liking to do it and get into a relationship, it's like it all goes out the window. And it's like, why?
yeah, but at least you got family around that can judge. Like, oh, my man's, no, he's not the guy. Thinking that wants you to call him by a new nickname, he's not the guy. We're not calling you, no, I ain't gonna say it. But we're not giving you no new nickname at all.
Right.
What about you? What are some boundaries?
I think that I'm still learning boundaries, you know what I mean? But I think the biggest thing is taking the time before I just let somebody all the way in. And we was kind of talking about this last week, like, before I just completely give you all the information. Like, sometimes I'll withhold certain information, or like I'll slip certain pieces of information out there to see how you deal with it, how you react. Like, just watching people and observing people, I guess, is how I would. That's not really a boundary, but that's how I set my boundaries.
Yeah.
I have to watch you and observe you before I just completely open up and let you all the way in.
What do you got there for boundary definition? You came with some great bullet points and some notes. What do you got there? You want to dive into those?
Yeah, boundary definition. A boundary is a line that marks the limit of an area or a dividing line. So then I had a question once I read the definition. If boundaries is setting a limit of an area, what does it take for you to know what your limits are?
Oh,
Experience.
agreed. Getting burned, being in some, not sexually, but I'm saying, getting burnt in a relationship or a friendship on some whole shit. Like, damn, bro. Or damn, like, you did this, I think that's one of the ways to tell. A lot of the boundaries that I've had just came from experience, like she said, or sometimes benefiting from the experience of others. Like, when I came out here to California, I had a specific boundary. I'm not living in Los Angeles. That was my boundary. And it came from a conversation I had with a producer while I was working on a TV show in Detroit. Older black dude, he pulled me to the side. He said, Charlie, I heard you thinking about moving to California. And he gave me all these bullet points. If you're moving out there, don't live in LA because it's got this and this and this. And he gave me the benefit of his mistakes. I did this and this happened. I messed up here and this happened. He said, don't live in Los Angeles. He said, try to live an hour or so away. Go to Los Angeles and work and then leave before midnight. So a boundary that I've had set, and I see what he's saying because I'm an empath. I'm spiritually sensitive. I have discernment, because of that, I'm very sensitive in environments. That's why I just can't have certain people around me long term, because if you're dealing with something weird, I'm going to see it. So he said, don't stay in Los Angeles long term. That's been my boundary, like, based on somebody else's experience. Then I got experiences of my own where, like you said, I allow people in too soon. They do something weird, and it's like, dang, and I'm all crushed, and it's like, dang, I should have gave them some type of, like, prerequisite policy, like, you got to meet these policies before I let you this close. And that's what I've learned now. Like, now I got stages. It's like you got to get through 3 walls before you really, really get close to me. I put you here, see how you act, then here, then see how you act. then here, then see how you act. But I don't allow it just because I attract you, I don't let you into my inner circle. So now I just have boundaries about my inner circle, who I let around me, close to me. And I didn't get that till like last year before last, probably like 2 years ago is when I really started guarding, having boundaries of myself, because I walk in a room, I know I attract people. I attract certain circumstances, situations. So now I'm just like, just because I attract it, I don't mean I let it close to me. So that's just kind of one of my boundaries. I'll never live in LA. Anybody that wants to get close to me, be friends with me, there's a process now. You know, anybody I try to include, like a lot of people that I work with now, you know, I've been knowing them for years, or I've seen them with certain characteristics that made me be like, okay, now I can trust you with this. Now I can put you here. You know, so that's just some of my boundaries. But I love that definition. A line that marks the limits of an area, a dividing line. If boundary is setting a limit, what do you think your limits are? I mean, for me, I don't know. I want to ask y'all opinion on what y'all limits are. But for me, my limits are just kind of like what we said beforehand. Can I put you in a room with some other people and you talk positively about me? Even though you know the chinks in my armor. Some people can't go in another room and be 100. Especially if the relationship is tested. What you think about Angel, man? I don't really like her hair. If you're not the kind of nigga that's gonna stand up for me in a room when other people is on some garbage, I don't want to be around.
I don't want you around. We was just talking about that this morning. Like, if I have to question it, forget about it. Right. Just forget about it, because it is just like, it's no telling what you'll do. Like, and I want to piggyback off what you were saying. Like, I'm really big on, and I always say this, it's just vibes, which is really like that person's spirit. Right. And when you spiritually in tune, like, you can feel when somebody got something in their heart that's not right. And it's just like certain things, I got this boundary of my own, this bubble, and it's like I've let certain things pass and enter into that bubble, and it messed me up, whether it was spiritually, whether it was financially, whether it was like emotionally. But like, I notice that it's certain things and traits that people have that when I notice it, like, I just can't let you in my personal space.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Like, if you're dealing with anything that is contrary to what I try to believe and stand on and live by. Like, if you're dealing with jealousy in your heart, if you're dealing with unhappiness, like, nothing is ever okay. Something is always wrong with everything. Like, I don't want to be around them type of people. I don't want to be around the type of people that's lazy and don't want to work. Like, anything contrary to what I believe, I don't want you around me. Like, now, if I'm called to minister to you, and it's like a ministry type of thing, and God is trying, He has you in my life so that I can show you the right way, which is what I would always aim to do. Then it's just like, okay, I have a certain kind of grace for that, and then I also still have to keep you out of my bubble.
Right.
Yeah.
At a distance.
Like, at a distance, a respectful distance. You know what I mean? But it's just like some of it, or most of it, is just unnecessary distractions, in my opinion.
Right.
What about you, Lala?
Because, like, to piggyback off of what she was saying, like, you want to be, as far as like your inner circle, and you want quality over quantity, as far as your inner circle is concerned, you want to be equally yoked with the people. And by equally yoked, it means you're like-minded. Or you know how, like, a lot of successful people always talk about the people that you surround yourself with projects like your future. So you want to be around people who are going after their goals, who got something going on, who encourage you to go after your goals, who speak positively, speak life over you in your situation. Because if you constantly around people who just broke, busted, and disgusted, like, that's gonna rub off on you.
Right.
And like, one of the things that, like, my sister always told me is like, clean don't rub off on dirt. Dirt rubs off on clean. And so you got to keep your head straight, naturally, spiritually, whatever you got to do to stay focused on what your purpose is, what your calling is, what your dreams are. And as soon as you get off track from that and you start surrounding yourself with the wrong people, it's like you even start feeling a different type of way about your goals and what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
It makes
saying?
a
Like,
difference.
oh, they're gonna turn up tonight. You know, I'm experiencing FOMO, so I'm not gonna, you know, stay back at the crib and work on what I said I was gonna do. No, you need to get around some people that value goals over hanging out as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
That's why I like Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2 through 3. It says, write the vision, make it plain, and the vision will speak. So you got to write down a goal or a vision of what you want. And the Bible says make it plain because tape it on the wall. Put it somewhere on the mirror when you brush your teeth. Make it plain. And then you have to read it. And then when you read it, it says the vision will speak to you and it'll come to pass. So literally, when you got your goals posted on the wall and you take some time to read it, when you, like, after you brush your teeth and you get ready to go do something stupid, that vision on the wall will speak to you. Don't do that. You're trying to accomplish this. Why would you go do that? It's like, dang.
Right.
So that's a huge boundary to have in your life. Writing a vision, making it plain, so the vision will speak to you. And, you know, and I'm not preaching because there's been times where I accomplished the vision. There's been times where I ignored what the vision was saying. Like, don't do that. I'm like, but I want to. So I'm just going to do it. Anyhow, and that's the problem that I have with some Christians. I feel like we're just not real sometimes, man.
y'all religious versus having a relationship with God. Because if
Right.
you truly have a relationship with God and you led by the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost, whatever you want to call it, like, He's gonna speak to you and tell you, you need to apologize to that person. Don't judge that person.
Yeah.
You was doing that too. And that's the thing that people don't understand. Like, it's not just about the works, going to church, tithing, you know, servicing people in ministry. That don't sound good, but you know, serving in ministry,
Servicing.
to serve people.
What you need to release right now.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like,
Yeah.
you have to have that balance, because it's like when you get in a room with a bunch of unbelievers, it's like you want to be the light. And then when you get in a room with a bunch of believers, it's like you don't want to be so like spiritual to the point where it's like you can't relate to other people.
You got you're talking like a pastor every 2 seconds. And I see what you're saying. You got a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Ooh, like, you got to be able to relate. I think one of the best things I heard Pastor Sharice say, shout out to Pastor Sharice at DWC. She said, our job as believers is to be anointed, stay anointed, and be around the people. And I'm not sitting here fronting and saying that I'm always on. I'm a dirtbag. Sometimes I miss it. But when I'm on, my job is to be in the room and be anointed. And that's the way I affect change in that room. It's just sometimes saying a silent prayer. I may not be able to exhort everybody because that's my natural gift as an exhorter. But maybe I say a silent prayer. Maybe I'm praying for you and you don't know. Maybe I'm just like, God bless this person. That's how I walk into every room. I'm like, Lord, just bless these people. Let them be saved. They don't know you. Give them joy. They're happy here. They may be dealing with depression when they get home. Help them in their environments. I'm always trying to say, I would say always, a large percentage of the time, I'm always trying to pray for people in a room that I walk in. So I know that I'm giving in every single room. A lot of people walk in the room, they're looking for what they can get. Are you going to compliment me? Are you going to talk about my accomplishments? Ain't nobody been looking at your Instagram in the room?
Right. And why do you need that?
Why you need that?
Strangers?
Be a person who gives, man. And that's just, I think them the kind of people, if I had to talk about boundaries, those are the kind of people that I like to be around, are givers, because I'm a giver. Friend of mine, you know, really cool people. She saw that I was on these podcasts and I'm doing all this stuff. And she's just like, you know what? I want to sew into you. She sent me a book, David Goggins. She sent me like 2 or 3 shirts, a hat. She just sent me stuff like, look, I see you on all these shows. I see what you're doing. Let me send you this book. Let me send you these things that's just going to help you, you know, produce. One of my homegirls. She was good people. She just, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I've been knowing her for a little while. She was just like, look, but it wasn't on no weirdness. She was just like, I want to make sure that you benefit from this and every show that you on. She sent me some shirts, a hat, a book.
So she added value.
Added value to the situation without asking for anything in return. And it's like, those are the kind of people that I want to be around, because that's the kind of person I am. If I see you got a gift, and anybody can attest to this, if I know you and I'm close to you, I sow into you.
Yeah.
I sow into your gifts. I'll try to make sure that I can give you time to sow into your gifts. Like, time is very valuable. That's one thing we don't get back. So I'll buy you some time. Hey, look, I took care of this for you. I did this so you can focus on this. Like, I'm really big on people accomplishing destiny. Huge.
Yes.
So vice versa, if you come around me and you're like that, like, you know what, Charlie, I see you got this and this going on. Let me do this for you. Or let me do that for you. That's why I love my parents. They was willing to come through. Like, you got this going on. We'll keep the kids for the weekend. Mm-hmm. We'll come by and sit with the kids. Like, I was a single father raising 3 kids for years. And they would come through and sit at the house. Like, you know, we're going to sit with Angel and Nay and Charlie while you go to work, or while you do this. Like, and that to me blesses me. That's why when I get the bag, my goal is to sell a show, get a lead role in the show soon in Jesus' name. I get the bag, I'm taking care of my people, especially my parents.
Yeah.
They sat at my house from 5 in the evening till 4 in the morning for years, keeping an eye on Jail and Nay and Charlie. Like, we believe in your gift. Like, if you around me and you ain't like that, I don't want to be around you. Because that's how I am.
And they don't want nothing from you.
They don't
just
want nothing
do it
from you.
because they love us. You know, they love you, they love us. And that's the more, you know, you climb and the more like our brands really start to develop. Like, I can't stress this enough. Like, that's the only type of people that I want in my personal space. It's people that's just genuine, pure. Like, anything other than that, I'm straight on it. I'm really good on it. Yeah,
it ain't even, unless, it's just certain things that I need in order for me to be the kind of person that's like, you got to be, I know I'm an interesting person, but I balance it with being interested.
You do.
I know I'm an authoritative person, but I balance it with being a humble person at the same time. So I look for people who have that kind of balance when I'm interacting with people. If you can't balance those things, then, you know, what's the purpose of being around? So I just think if we had to circle back, boundaries, I really think it's important. And I'm not going to sit here in front like I'm always a man of boundaries. Sometimes I'm a dirtbag. But there are times when I have it together and I'm working on it. But to have boundaries in your life, things you do, don't do, places you go, you don't go, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have boundaries 2 weekends ago. If we're going to be honest, I was in Compton at a stripper party. You know what I'm saying? I'm blasted. I'm with my people, and I'm damn near getting to it with a nigga over a female. And it's like, why am I here? No boundaries. I mean, shout out to, we all worked it out, man. And, you know, I apologize the whole 9, but it's like, man, I didn't have boundaries. Like, I'm blasted in Compton in a blood neighborhood, and I'm completely out of pocket. Didn't have no boundaries. So I ain't gonna front like I got boundaries all the time. And I think that's just the example that I wish whatever religion you're in, but we're just talking specifically Christianity, like, just be 100. That's something that I'm working on. What is it?
Tiffany's watching. Hi, Penelope.
Tiff, hey, shout out to my cousin Tiff. She's so 100.
We've been so excited.
She sent so many things to our house that is so beneficial. I love you so much. And that's what I'm talking about. Adding value. She said, oh, what do y'all need? We got boxes coming to the house every other day, Tiff. And I love you and I appreciate you for that, man. A lot of people talk. I support you. I'm with you. I'm with your vision. But, you know, they don't really support. We took a big leap. I moved 2,000 miles away from Detroit to pursue a goal and a dream and a vision. And I've accomplished a few of those things, which I'm really grateful for. I booked a couple TV shows, a movie role, a commercial. I've had several pitch meetings for a TV show. I'm super grateful for it all. But I'm still like right there on the cusp of that bag that I'm believing God for, so I can come back and help people. But when I see people sending stuff like Tiffany or my parents, they lived here for what, 2 years? Mm-hmm. Came and helped with the kid. There are people who see the vision and they're like, you know, we want to do our part. We don't want nothing in return. We just want to do our part. And I love people like that because I'm like that. I see you doing something. I want to sow into you. I ain't going to hate on you. Like, can you believe that nigga Charlie moved to California with all them damn kids? He moved out there with all them kids and then he was cheating on his wife. That nigga ain't shit. He ain't funny. He ain't funny. He cheating on his wife, can't control his penis. He think he's shit. When he come to my house, I'm tell that nigga, keep your feet off my chair, nigga.
No.
Nigga, you ain't funny. You don't think I know you talking about me? I don't give a fuck. Watch what happens, and then watch the people that I give back to. Talking shit about me behind my back like I don't know. For real. Watch what, let me tell you something. God uses imperfect people. Rahab was a harlot.
What's a harlot?
Rahab was a hoe. Jesus' bloodline came out of harlot, came out of Rahab, who was a prostitute, man. Hold him. You know what I'm saying?
You know that's the oldest job
Oldest profession.
in the profession of humanity.
What?
Is prostitute.
Look, I ain't mad at hoes, man.
My
Get your
daddy
money.
told me that.
Get your money. I ain't mad at you if
Never
you're a
knew
hoe.
that.
Get your money. I'm just saying, this is, people don't think you dogging people and not knowing. That's when I talk about boundaries. Like, when you get around people and you feel like the oil is weird between you and that person, you dogging me. But wait, like the calling that God has on our lives is bigger than the hate.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. You gifted. That's the thing about when you have like you always be telling me, like, you have a mantle on your life. And it's like, when you realize that you're gifted and you're anointed to do something, that is so powerful. Yeah. That is just so powerful.
Because the thing is, it's like, it's a lot of people out here who hating because they miss the opportunity of their life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They ignored their purpose. They ignored their calling. And some people do it
Or they
for
don't
good
know what it
reason.
is.
Because they're married or they have kids, or like they weren't educated enough spiritually to know what it is and how to go after it, or ask God to reveal it to them.
Yeah.
And they mad because it's like they on the downskirts of life. I mean, and not that they about to like die or anything anytime
No, I
soon,
get
but
it.
it's like you elderly now and you haven't done what makes you happy and you haven't left a legacy for generations to come after you. And it's like some people be bitter about
They're just
that.
unhappy. It's a lot of unhappy, sick, hurting people in the world.
And they hate to see somebody else going after their dreams, and you got more kids than they do, more drama than they do, and you still juggling
excuse.
both.
Right. So, of course they gonna hate it.
So you saying if a nigga is 45 and he sells his Prius and buys a Corvette and starts to tell niggas, start calling him by a new nickname, like you gonna start calling me Ski.
What?
You saying that he don't have, stop doing that. If you a grown man or woman and you are telling people to call you by a new nickname and you 48 years old, or you, nigga, stop trying to sell weed at 50 years old just because you listening to Jeezy. Just stop. Like, you know what? I sold all kind of weed last year. No, nigga, you sold 2 dime bags last year. You're lame. Stop doing that. Be yourself. If you have boundaries and you go after your goals, you don't feel like you have to accomplish something at an elderly age because it's like, oh, I'm 50. Dang, I ain't got nothing. Let me make niggas start calling me Ski or Woody.
But the thing is, it's like, I feel like if you still breathing and you still waking up every day, you have another opportunity to find out what your purpose is and do it.
But see, we have hope. You know what I'm saying? We have faith. We have hope. We have a lot of different tools that a lot of people have access to, but they just don't utilize. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'm getting to the point now where I'm realizing that, like, it's always going to be people that's unhappy, that's hating, that's giving weird energy, but like, I'm just not going to feed into that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because you also, it's like you have to recognize the negativity, but you can't really feed into it too much because then you start to like, that's all you're thinking about. For me, I really try to focus on the people that do support me, the people that are keeping it 100 with me. I do recognize the negativity, but I just can't harp on it. Like, I can't stay there. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to you, Poppin'. I had to get close to read the screen.
Look at the comments. We both got phones right here.
Poppin' is on. He said, when you take big risks, what do you say? That's my dude, man, from 50. Shout out to Craig Fax and 5150, man. Poppin' said, when you take big risks like that, you see who really supports you.
Yes.
That's 100. Asbury Robinson, what up, family? Love you, Charlie. Man, shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Man.
Yeah, shout out. Wednesday night. What's up?
Another way to look at it is that regular people have higher expectations of those who are in the public eye. That's true. That's from Pete.
That's like what we were talking about last week. You don't understand. So it's like you can even wrap your mind around why would he want to go to California? He got all them kids and all these different
We
problems.
got 5 kids and
Why
3
would he
baby
wanna do
mamas.
that?
Trying to move to California and pursue. The nigga just did a few little local commercials. He ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? Should have kept his job at Ford with his big bald head ass.
But then when the new X-Men movie come out and you're the new, they come out with new characters, superheroes every other week. It's like 80 million of them. But you know what I'm saying? Like, don't worry. Because the thing is, it's like God is going to shut the mouths of all the haters. In due time, in due season, it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. That's why I love Isaiah. One of my favorite chapters in Isaiah says that, for your shame, you will get double. For your persecution, you will get double, and you will rejoice in your portion. So it's almost like the double persecution. You got to get persecution to get the double.
Yeah.
You got to get shame to get the double. So,
it ain't easy being a Christian.
It's
saying
not.
the word.
It's not. I just wish the examples of Christianity were a little better. Give people the benefit of your mistakes.
Yeah.
All my kids have had the benefit of my mistake. This is what I did. This is what it cost me. This is where I messed up. And I'm real with people. Like, I'm not the kind of person that magnifies my flaws bigger than God. I feel like Jesus is perfect and I'm not. But one of the boundaries that I have for myself is that I'm going to be real and transparent with people. Yeah, I'm a Christian, but I've messed up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes my thoughts are off. I have a community where I confess to, like, man, I missed it here. I'm working on this. I'm working on these things. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I flare up and I slap somebody, or I've cut somebody out last week, or, you know what I'm saying? Or I slipped up and messed with this female, but I'm working on it. I'm not comfortable in my sin and my errors. I just think that so much Christianity, a lot of Christianity has been so judgmental and harsh on people and not dealing with their own internal issues. That's why I love Bishop and I love Pastor Sharice and DWC, because it's just kind of like, all right, people are dealing with things. Church has got this going on. We got this going on, but people are working to heal. It never made people feel bad about where they were. We're all healing. Because some of us been dealing with iniquities and stuff for 20, 30, 40 years. So one of the boundaries that I have for myself, staying in the realm of boundaries, is that I try not to get totally mad. What you laughing at? Bring back, them. She lit. She lit.
He just talked about 3 whole other topics.
Yeah, right. But watch me bring it in. Watch me bring it in. But what I will say about boundaries is that I lost my damn point. Man. I did have a point.
Yeah, you had a point.
I did. I hit all of them.
I feel you though, Dad.
I hit. Look at your ass. You patting me on the police pad. I feel you though, Dad. Nigga, you was on 3 points. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's what the thing is about Christianity, man.
I mean, you gotta have boundaries.
Yeah, you're right.
Man, fuck y'all.
You're right.
You do.
100%.
But when you have true boundaries for yourself, you're not in a full judgmental state when you jack up, is what I was going to say. Like, you missed it.
Yeah.
You missed it. You messed up. But we just like, okay, well, I'm learning.
And then people need to understand that you're not your mistakes. Like, God knows your heart. And you getting tested with, certain things on purpose to kind of like encourage you or kind of steer you to be like a better person. Because it's people make mistakes all the time. And it's like, you have to just remember, like, I'm not, if truly in your heart you sorry and you want to change, but you struggling with it, which is normal, like, you're not the mistakes that the mistakes that you make. Like,
but mistakes are not a bad thing. Like, we have to get out of our head that mistakes, failure, making the wrong choice it has a bad connotation on it. But like, how do you learn if you don't make a mistake, if you don't fail? Like, that's why a lot of businesses never succeed, because they don't even start.
Shout out to you, Josh Hawkins, Craig Facts fam. Harlem Russell, Kevin McLeod. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't even put the
My
mics
boy
on.
Pete Thomas, Magic Mushroom. Yeah, that's my daughter, nigga. What? I don't know you, nigga.
You can't be like that to the supporters.
No, I mean, I respect the niggas know what time it is, man. We roast each other every day. I appreciate everybody that's in the live, everybody that's been, I'm trying to build it from the ground up. Gratefully, and I talked about this before on one of my lives. You know, gratefully, I still do auditions, commercials, TV shows and stuff now, but I'm more in the habit now of building my own brand. And that's the purpose of the podcast, being around some of my favorite people, because now I'm not just waiting on the phone to ring, which the phone's ringing now, but while it's ringing, I'm building my own. So share, like, support, subscribe,
thumbs up
the video.
Yes.
You know, I got some of my favorite people, man. Let everybody know we're gonna keep getting together. Like, I'm just starting. We'll get better and better over time. We'll get the sound right. We'll get things, but I'm just like, you know what? Let's just start, share our opinion. But yeah, we'll put that on the next one. I gotta take a piss. So we're gonna wrap it up.
What?
We put that in the next one that we do.
How long we been going?
45 minutes. So look, man, let everybody know where you're from. Let everybody know not where you're from, but let everybody know your handle.
My name is Danny B. I'm Charlie's cousin, his blood cousin. I'm from Detroit. You can find me on IG at IAM_Danny B, and that's DANI and the letter B.
There it is, Danny Biscuit.
Fanny
from Jump
AKA
Street.
Fantan, AKA Lala, AKA Lolly.
It's like my sister, man. We grew up together.
Fantasia.
Her, Tiffany, Deandra, Wayne,
That's it.
Shawnee.
Well,
Shawnee.
yeah, Shawnee, but she was in the Carolinas for the majority
Yeah,
of the
but
time.
from the Jump
It was
Street, Shawnee was there from Jump. Like the first 10, 11 years, she was there. So it's all of us in the circle. So that's the fam. And then later on was Stacy and Britt and Brianna and everybody else. But they was the ones we beat up on because they was younger than us. That's why they so tough now. Brittany and Stacy and Brianna beat the dog shit out of you because they tough as hell. All right, so what do you got?
Boss Angel, on Twitter and on Instagram. ANJEIL.
Yay!
Go hit me up.
You can check me out. Look, my birthday just popped off. You can get on Cash App right now. I am Charlie Newhart. Send the real niggas some money if you want to. If not, whatever. I still got money. And right here on YouTube, Charlie Newhart. You can subscribe to my Instagram. I am Charlie Newhart, or Facebook, Charlie Newhart. Whatever it is you do, whether you do it or not, I don't really care. But if you do it, cool. Like, subscribe, share, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to tell you right now, in life, you don't get what's fair. You get what you negotiate. That's been this episode, man.
Thank y'all for watching.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. Love you all.
I'm going to take a
Share,
piss,
like,
man.
subscribe. Leave a comment. Bye.
Oh, it's piss time.